Yes. Angola beats. No, sorry. Nigeria beat Angola. I know this is probably so because this is going to come out 1 week after,
Okay.
but we'll still rejoice. So I was going through WhatsApp and I saw your status on Trek. There was Igu on a scooter.
Yes.
What is? I mean, maybe I shouldn't start with that, but still, I still want to start. What is
Yeah.
Trek?
Okay. So Trek Scooters is Africa's leading micromobility platform.
Okay.
But we're starting with e-scooters. So
Hmm.
we provide e-scooters in close communities,
Uh,
like universities, residential estates, industrial estates. We have mobility issues in
hmm
in Africa, as you know. It's not like Europe that we have very good public transportation system, or in the US where before you're 18 you can afford to get a car because you're doing a job, even though as a
hmm
student you can save up money. There's a good credit system available, right? Back in Africa, it's different,
Yeah.
right? Um, and when people ask me about Trek, I remember my my experience as a student of Obafemi University, because
Oh,
that
you
was
went to
my
OAU. Okay.
yeah, I went to OAU. That was where I did my
Um.
undergrad. Great Ife,
Oh my God!
the
Please, please,
the
please.
best,
Oh
the
no!
best, the best of the best of the best of the best university
I went to
in
UI.
Nigeria,
I
in
went to
Nigeria and
UI.
Africa.
Okay.
Please sit down. Just sit down where you are seated.
All right. I honestly don't even need to argue because it's even in our name, first and the best. But anyway, OAU is somewhere down there, but it's fine.
No, they gave you guys that to feel good.
Okay, if you say so.
We're Africa's most beautiful campus, and it's obvious. But aside from the beauty is external and
Okay.
intrinsic.
Okay.
You know,
I've
yeah,
never been to OAU before though.
you should.
Yeah, I should.
I feel like if you would go back to UI and give them your certificate,
No, please, please. Not even your strikes. Not even your strikes. Not even your
and you be like, I'm sorry, I should have
um
chosen better.
no.
You
But
know,
but I must admit that most people that have gone, they always say, "Oh yeah, it's very beautiful. It's really
it's beautiful.
okay."
Trust me, it's calm,
hmm
it's serene.
Okay.
Yeah. And a lot of
S-
intellectuals there.
okay. So what about it's trekking OAU?
No, not
Okay.
yet, but we will soon.
Okay.
Fingers crossed.
hmm
But when I referenced OAU, I said
hmm
that so that people can relate. So while I was in OAU, and I'm sure you can relate going to
Yeah.
UI, which is also a public university.
hmm
Um, Back then, the shuttles we have on campus, they have hours of operations,
Yeah.
right? And also they're also limited. They really can't go round.
Yeah. True.
I
True.
remember then from we have classes 7 a.m. There are some lecturers that just want to stress you,
Mm.
and they're going to give you the classes will be 7 a.m. right? And coming out of the hostel, getting ready very early in the morning, and I get to the front of my hostel trying to get a transportation because it's a really, really long walk
hmm
from the hostel to where I don't know if it's the same with UI,
Yes,
but
it's the same.
with OAU,
hmm
it's a lot. The walk from the hostel to where classes are
hmm
can take you up to an hour,
Oh wow. Okay, it's
depending.
not the same. It's
Yeah,
not the same.
depending. If you're going to go to Spider and you're
hmm
going from Mozambique to Spider, that's a long walk, right?
hmm
So, and when you come out, there are bikes, because sometimes the buses come, but it's not a lot, they're limited, a few.
hmm
The most bikes come.
hmm
Sometimes they're not there when you need them. Sometimes they're exhausted already. And
Mm.
you have to walk,
Yeah, to work.
imagine, about an hour,
Yeah.
and classes start 7 a.m. And it's a public university.
hmm
Probably you're doing a class with about 300 people, 400 people.
hmm
So If you don't get there on time, you have to sit at the back. You can see the board. So there are a lot of transportation challenges
Mm-hmm.
and mobility challenges
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that micromobility can actually solve in this
Council.
institution.
Yeah.
And that's where Trek, because of
Comes in.
this problem of mobility challenges, that's where Trek, um, why it was bettered
Mm-hmm.
to just solve this micromobility issues. Because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Africa needs this the most.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
We have it in other parts of the world, but
Mm-hmm.
I believe Africa needs this the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really interesting. I know I saw it, and the first time I saw something about Trek, I was wondering if it was in Africa, Nigeria. I was like, okay. But
Yeah.
then it's interesting when it's, oh yeah, this is what you're trying to solve, especially when you're thinking about students. And I'm like, this is really interesting. Like you
Hmm.
said, going around in certain parts, especially close quarters, like you said, schools, gated estates, you just want to go
Hmm.
somewhere quickly and you really don't need to drive. Yeah, that solves it.
Tried. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Maybe I'd like you to introduce yourself first so that maybe at the end or later we'll still talk about Trek because it's interesting. I have some
Hmm.
questions about it, but
Okay.
um episode 2 of Aliens Beyond podcast, and you've been hearing my guest's voice, obviously. And she will introduce herself. She has so many accolades, like the bio long gone. So um introduce yourself. Let the listeners, viewers. Oh, yeah, this is going on YouTube too, so let the viewers know you. Um,
Apology, like seriously, what are the
uh,
accolades you're talking about?
oh no, I went to your LinkedIn and I'm like, oh wow, oh wow, oh wow. Okay, but it's interesting, especially when you even look at it from an immigrant perspective, because people.
Hmm.
I mean, that's the whole essence of this podcast: to spotlight on immigrants and let people know that we're not just. There's something about immigrant. You ask the average indigenous, immigrant, and they think illegal. They think
Hmm.
of
Yeah.
the bad side. So
Side. Yeah.
let's put the spotlight. The accolades long, a founder, a philanthropist, own a foundation. It's a lot. But I'll let you introduce yourself.
Okay. Well, I'm going to introduce myself differently
Okay.
from the way you just introduced me.
Hmm.
Um, and that's because I try not to get soaked in with
Okay.
whatever I'm more eye level,
Hmm.
um, or I would say value centered, because I feel like these things can change anytime.
Hmm.
You know, but I would say first and foremost, I'm a lover of God, so that
Oh,
can come in any
uh,
form.
okay.
Number one. Next, I would say I'm a lover of people,
Mm,
and you can see that in the foundation you spoke about.
yeah.
I love people. I love to create impact. So, the founder and director of ECLA Foundation,
Hmm.
which is a foundation that provide scholarship opportunities for Africans
Hmm.
that just want to take their next step towards educational advancement and
Hmm.
economic empowerment. So would pay for the application fee and also
Okay.
provide community support for them
Mm.
in the United States, which is why we connect. Even with this
Yes.
podcast, we're doing
Yes.
something
Yes.
similar.
Hmm.
Yeah, I feel like that's very, very important. You
Yeah.
need people to
Hmm.
keep your sanity.
True. I agree. I agree. I agree.
um, I'm a lover of technology,
Hmm. Evidently.
and evidently, and you see that with Trek scooters, because we're not just a mobility or micromobility platform, we're actually a tech company
Mm.
solving a problem in the micromobility space. So
True.
it's not just going to be e-scooters. We have a huge vision to
Hmm.
redefine mobility in Nigeria, to power mobility in
Hmm.
Nigeria.
Okay.
And even in Africa, we're just starting with Nigeria using technology and renewable energy. So we're
Okay.
just starting with e-scooters. We're going to be launching our mobility as a service platform soon, which is the first in Africa, anyways.
Mm,
So
okay.
we're a technology company.
Okay.
So I'm a lover of technology,
Hmm.
and also that comes to play with being a product manager.
Okay.
As Microsoft.
Hmm.
That's the technology piece. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll divide it into those three
Oh,
categories.
interesting. 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 That's really nice. I hope we'll have time to delve into those three buckets that you have placed yourself, and it's interesting. Like, the first question I want to ask is: so, when you look at yourself in the mirror, how do you see yourself? What's the first thing that comes? I, I, I don't want to say like, okay, you see yourself. Who do you see? What do you see?
Great question.
Mm.
I would say on my very, very good days.
Mhm. Yes, very important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's a skill, right?
Yeah.
The days you don't even look at yourself, you're
Hmm.
like, but on my very, very good days, I see a bold,
Hmm.
driven,
Hmm.
and loving
Hmm.
lady that want to make an impact in the world,
True.
that want to leave the world better.
Hmm.
Um, then she made it.
Mm.
Um, I see someone willing to take other people on a journey,
Mm.
not scared to share
Mm.
a journey just because she doesn't want people to make the same mistakes she makes.
Mm.
And she wants other people's journey to be way seamless than hers.
Mm.
Um, I, I see someone that believes in paying it forward,
Mm.
um,
Okay.
rather than just keeping it to herself.
So,
And in every vertical that I mentioned earlier, I think that has come to play.
come
I
to
also
play.
see someone that is open to
Hmm.
feedback and open to growth. I'm a huge proponent of growth mindset.
Mm.
Um, I like to take feedback
Yeah.
a lot.
Hmm.
I'm a very critical person. I'm critical of myself more than I'm of other people. I'm
Yeah.
critical of other people,
Mm.
but I'm more critical of
Of
myself
yourself.
because I demand the best for myself. And
Mm.
I have my low days. I have my days that I'm not feeling this way.
Yeah. Yeah.
But on my very, very good days, I just see someone that has come so far based on my journey and where I'm coming from and my lived experience or past experience, both the good, bad, and ugly,
Hmm.
and see someone that is still pressing in.
Mm.
Um, so just make the best of life and
Yeah.
be the best you can be.
Hmm. Interesting. Um, it's one of the reasons why I like meeting people on this podcast is because you meet them and then they're just describing themselves to you, especially immigrants. It really just makes me realize that statistics of there's a stat that says, or there's this saying that says people from another country, when they come into another space or another country or another society, they are usually more driven than people that are local, like the locals. So it's interesting to see. But we'll step aside from um talking about your journey. Before we go into your journey, before we go
Hmm.
into how things went, we usually read like a news article or something
Okay.
important that happened in the immigration space. And
Right.
the one that caught my eye was Canada's province bans international students admissions to tertiary institutions for 2 years.
Whoops.
Uh, the province in question is or in this article is British Columbia, and
Wow.
yeah, they announced a 2 year ban on admitting international students to tertiary institutions. And he says Federal Immigration Minister Mark Miller said in CBC reports that the measure is part of an effort to reduce the new student issuance by 35% for the current year. Hmm. I know last year Canada saw an influx of international students. There was a huge rise. And this decision, according to them, aims to address the exploitative practices within the education system. And one will ask, but before I go into, oh, they mentioned one of the exploitative issues that they are facing. But I want to ask, what do you think of this on First Street?
Yeah,
When I first saw it, I was like, okay, they are really coming for immigrants all over the world.
I know.
But I read it. Maybe I should go into let me go into one of the instances that they recounted in the article. So
Okay.
um Robinson noted that an examination of the system last March reviewed substandard education is such a shortage of instructors and discouragement of students from lodging complaints or at certain private institutions, which all is a problem for international students because we pay this huge money um to come and learn, but get substandard treatment. You see, the instructors are not even enough to cater for the students. And then Robinson recounted an instance where a student from India was misled about the
Mhm.
mode of instruction in an institution she applied to. However, on upon arrival, she enrolled in online classes instead of the promised in-class instruction. She arrived here being told that there would be in-class instruction only to discover on her first day of class as she showed up that the entire course would be taught online, Robinson said.
Wow.
Which means,
Wow.
I mean, if it's all online, they're like, so you really don't need to come to Canada.
Come.
You can."
Yeah.
Which means the Indian has spent a lot of resources. She could still be in her home country,
Yeah.
not going through the stress of travel because it's stressful to relocate.
It is.
Um, so I think they are just trying to, according to them, they want to curb the exploitative practices from, and I know a lot of people have said these schools, especially private ones, they benefit a lot from international
Mhm.
students where they, of course, Canada is you have to pay before you come. They
Mhm.
show you money, unlike US where you just proof of
Mhm.
funds, but Canada you have
Funds.
to
Yeah.
pay, which
Mhm.
means they need to find a way to stop. They need to find a way where international students are not exploited by these private
Mhm.
institutions.
Yeah.
But what do you think? What's
Yeah. When I saw the headline, I was
hmm
like, "Oops."
yeah.
This is not good news for
hmm
people looking to move to Canada,
yeah.
particularly this province,
hmm
right? Or people that have submitted applications
hmm
waiting for um, admission letters and their hopes are just high. Now they have to look for other options,
hmm
right? So that's one side of it.
That's one side.
And
Yeah. hmm
and we can see this. This is not just in Canada.
True.
Recently, the UK also released stricter measures
hmm
around immigration.
hmm
There've been a lot of research going
Yeah.
into immigration due to Brexit, which I don't want to go into, and all of those things that happened.
hmm
I don't. That's. I don't want to
That's another.
meddle because
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
another one.
hmm
But that led to UK reviewing their immigration policies, especially around education. And we saw a lot of people
hmm
take ad- they took advantage of that
hmm
because it was friendly. It was more family friendly.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can actually go with your family, your immediate family.
hmm
One person is working and the other person is schooling,
True.
which is good, which
Which is
makes
good.
sense and it makes it
True.
easy.
hmm
Unlike the US, which you're not sure if your spouse is going to get visa. And even
Yeah.
when they're here, they wouldn't
They
work.
can
They're
work.
just
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just there. So it was more immigration and family friendly, and we had a lot of people. So I believe due to that, that
Mhm.
became one of the preferred destination
Yeah.
for people. A
Mhm.
lot of my friends actually moved to
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure it's similar. Like
Mhm.
you have that experience
True.
too,
True.
and which was good. A lot of people took advantage of that, but all of a sudden realized that the government felt like um, the resources they have on ground is not enough to cater
Mm.
to the influx of people coming into the country, right? And they had to put some stricter
Measure.
policies in place to just help
Mhm.
make sure. So when I look at these things, I try to look at it holistically. I
Yep.
try to look at it from the government angle. I see it from the from the immigrant perspective.
Mhm.
For people that are either seeking greener pastures in the sense of better education system, better economic empowerment for themselves or their
Mm.
family, this is not really good. It's not so good because
Yeah.
it's like all of their hope have been dashed.
Mm.
Let's say, for example, people have to save for years just to fulfill their dreams of going to school outside of the country,
Right.
right? And imagine almost getting to that mark. You've saved so much.
Mm.
And the dollar, naira,
Yeah.
the valuation is not even helping. But let's not
Yeah.
talk about that.
Yeah.
Let's not talk
True.
about that.
That's another
That's
point. Yeah.
that's another word. We can talk
Mhm.
about that the audio, right? And having people save and they're almost at the mark, and all of
Mm.
a sudden you realize that you can't even go for what you want because policies are changing, they're more stringent than
Mm.
they've ever been. So that's one side, and I'm like,
Mm.
wow, this isn't so good. In the US too, there was a time that there was a particular president that was not so friendly to immigrants, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to mention names,
Yeah.
right? Um, so, and I feel like it's not really precedent based. It's just based on the country,
Yeah.
and the place they are at that time.
Mm.
Because the truth is,
Mhm.
unlike some African countries that we really don't plan.
True.
These countries actually plan.
Mhm.
They plan for everyone. They
Mm.
take their population seriously.
Yeah.
They take their economic seriously.
Mm.
So they know what it takes, the number of hospitals that is needed,
Mhm.
the number of security officials that is needed to tend to a certain number of population. So
Yeah.
when they see that they're exceeding that and they can cater to that, you know, it's going to affect the standard of living of the average, let's say American or Canadian
Mhm.
or UK citizen or
True.
even a resident.
Mm.
Then they have to take measures to protect that so the standard of living is not dropping.
Yeah.
Um, I'm an economics by training too because my bachelor's was in economics,
Oh, okay.
right?
Okay. Interesting.
Yes. So that's why I can
That
see from the
explains.
first.
That
Yeah,
explains a lot.
that explains why I'm bringing this perspective because people are like, nah, nah, nah. So because of that, because of that background, I think of things on a
Mhm.
microeconomic level,
Okay.
which is just individual, family,
Mhm.
these are the people that will feel the art the most. Then I
Mhm.
think about it on the macro level.
Mhm.
Macro is where the government come in place. Macro is like bringing all the individuals together and
Mhm.
thinking of the bigger picture, looking at the resources we have available and how can we make sure that these resources go around and
Go
ensure
around.
we have a certain standard of living for everyone,
Mhm.
irrespective of if we're running a capitalist system or a socialist system, right?
Mm.
So that's why I'm looking at it from its
Yep.
surface. First phase for the immigrant, this is not a good news. And
Mm.
I would say that if you're thinking of jackpine or thinking
Mm.
of leaving the country for either educational advancement or economic empowerment or whatever reason, this is the time.
Yeah.
I feel like in years to come, this would actually become more strict.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know, however, some other countries would open up
Mm. True.
because that's what we're seeing. There are some other countries that people are not looking at.
Mhm.
Now, these countries are beginning to open up.
Yep.
They're having programs, to get, they're opening up programs. They're allowing students to come and school and actually work
And
because
work.
they can see um, how this impacts their economy
Mhm.
positively.
True.
Talking about immigration or immigrants from the economic perspective,
Mhm.
if done rightly, these people actually provide positive economics
Mm-hmm.
units to the
Okay.
economy they go into. Like you said, they are driven. They're the
Mm-hmm.
one that do some of the work that people don't want to do.
Mm.
You know, you see them put in the hours. Um, I read something, I can't remember the article, but it was talking about, was it Nigerians in the US
Okay.
when it comes to like they're the most read or something,
Mm. Okay.
when it
Mm.
comes to like immigrants and all of that. So you
Yes.
see
Yeah.
people go in chase of knowledge and
Mm-hmm.
all of that, you know. So back to your question, I see this in two ways. For the
Mm-hmm.
immigrants, is not so good. Trust me, it's like a bumper. You're trying to escape something, or you're trying to chase something, but you're facing stricter measures. You know, even for people like us that the measures were not so strict. You're coming to the country is not easy.
It's not
You know,
easy. And now that
there's a lot, and that
yeah.
I'm sure we'll talk about, you
Yes.
know.
Yes.
But now, on your way there, you're even facing this, which can cause a lot of either mental, economic, or social issues.
Mm.
But from the government part, look at the example you said.
Yeah.
People have been exploited,
Mm-hmm.
which is unfair.
Mm.
It's
True.
unfair for people to leave their family. Look at the case
Mm-hmm.
of the Indian lady. She
Mm-hmm.
left her family. She thought she was going to get A, but she was given Z.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine the psychological trauma she
Yes.
would
True.
have gone through.
Mm.
She could have done this in India, like you're saying, and she still have the support of her family.
True.
Why did she
True.
have to travel so far?
Mm-hmm.
You know. And aside from that, because you're an immigrant, some some schools or institution would not give you the opportunity to speak up. They don't listen to you because they feel like you're a
Mm.
minority
Yes.
and you have no one to plead your case, right?
Yeah.
And people are not treated like they should be treated, you know.
Mm.
So I would, that's what I'm going to say. Looking at it from
Yeah.
both perspective, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. You looked at it from both perspectives, and yeah, people don't realize that the struggle and the emotional toll it takes to leave their country to another country. And if you look at the stats, it says British Columbia hosts 280 private schools, with 80% located in the lower main region. Of the 175 international post-secondary school students from over 150 countries in the province, approximately 54% are enrolled in 50 approximately 54% are enrolled in private institutions. That's over half
Mm-hmm,
going to private institutions. So there's going to be increased inspection and ensure compliance to standards,
mm-hmm,
addressing student exploitation. At the end of the day, it's the benefit of the immigrant. Like, oh, two
yeah,
years, 2 years ban. Is they don't like us?
yeah,
Oh no, they need to be able to stand on integrity. But anyway,
yeah.
that's the big news for the week. Yeah, thank you for looking at it from the economic angle. It's really important to look at things from the money part. Yeah, follow the
Mm-hmm.
money, they
Follow the money.
say. Yeah.
Follow the money.
And this is a very good part to say, like you said, it is not the big countries, the popular countries are not the only countries that you can migrate to. Canada,
Mm-hmm.
US, Australia, UK. There are smaller countries that you get quality, even better quality of life. And this episode is sponsored by Answered. Look at Answered. Ask your question. Go and look for it. Don't go to the big countries. When I was coming, like you said, most of my friends were going to the UK. I'm like, no, I don't want to go to the UK. I want to go to the US, especially because of my course, tech. I'm in tech. And I'm like, yeah, I'd rather go to the US, gain as much knowledge. But like you said, things are getting stricter in these bigger
Mm-hmm.
countries or in these popular countries. Yeah, look at
Mm-hmm.
smaller countries. I know Switzerland is doing a lot to encourage migrants and international students. Portugal has been doing a lot to bring in um investors and also international students and also even the older population. I think there's something called a D7 visa category, and it's even a shorter wait time to citizenship. I'm a big proponent of having more than one passport in your life, anyways. So, but anyway, like I said,
Depending on the passport you have as the first
it's
one.
yes, yes. Even me say, I've had this talk with someone there and he said, no, if you have an American passport, I'm like, even if I have an American passport, I think I want another passport.
So
I
what passport would you have gotten?
mm, because I watch a lot of YouTube on
Hmm.
these investors, and it's Canada, America. They have a Caribbean passport.
Hmm.
One of these Caribbean countries' passports, like in Saint Kitts
Yeah,
or one of these smaller countries in Europe.
countries. Yeah.
So probably one of those.
Okay.
But yeah, um, I just want to. I just have more than one passport, and
Multiple
it's
options.
multiple options, and it's even really more. It's really important if you are from an African country. Sorry for putting the whole Africa together, but
But yeah, yeah,
yes,
that I second
yeah,
that.
yeah. But anyway, said sponsored by Answered. Look at Answered. ansrd.io. Also check Answered on Apple Store. Ask any question about immigration. Someone out there has probably gone through the same thing and will answer you or give you similar experience. Okay. Um, should we go into your immigration journey?
Yeah,
Okay.
let's do it.
How did it happen from economics to product manager? Or from should we say from OAU to no, from Ife to Atlanta? How did that happen?
Gosh,
Yeah.
that's a long journey.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready for the
Oh,
story?
yes, yes.
Oh, wow. That's, I think it's going to be a decade
Oh, wow.
this year
Oh, this year.
from when
Okay.
I left, OAU.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so it's been an interesting journey.
Did you
Like
grow
I
up in
said,
Ife?
um, Lagos slash Ife.
Okay. Okay.
So, my earlier years started in Lagos because my
Okay.
parents,
Mm-hmm.
um, are based in Lagos, both of
Mm-hmm.
them. I was born and bred in Lagos
Mm-hmm.
until my GSS 3.
Oh, okay.
That's junior secondary school.
Yeah.
For people that are not
Is that
Africans, well, that's what
is that
if you're
like
gonna,
middle school?
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
thereabout, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, back then I had this uncle. He was one of my best. It was my best uncle. Let me
Okay.
say, it was my best uncle, and he finished from OAU.
He's no more
You
your best
know,
uncle.
he still
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
he
Okay.
is, he's my best
Mm-hmm.
uncle.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll send this to him so he
Okay.
knows I'm talking about him.
Yeah.
He's still my best uncle. And um, so he finished from where you at that point then. So it was this holiday period, remember, where you would go and visit the
Mm,
uncle or somebody. Before that, like we didn't used to go visit anyone,
yeah.
but my
Typical.
parents really trusted this
Okay.
uncle,
Mm-hmm.
because it was, I don't even know if it was a pastor at that point, but
Okay.
he was really, really invested in me. Like
Mm-hmm.
it would, anytime he comes home from the university, he comes to check on me. He just had this special liking for me. I feel like I'm his best niece to today,
Oh, okay.
even though he's not going to say it. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm like his first daughter, his first child before he gave
Okay.
birth. Because
Mm-hmm.
he's my guardian. Even though he's my
Mm-hmm.
uncle, he's my guardian. Himself
Mm-hmm.
and his wife, they've been
Mm-hmm.
really, really instrumental to my journey,
Okay.
holistic journey.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Ife at that time.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had just graduated and probably was an assistant lecturer or something at that
Mm-hmm.
point. He was still trying to figure life out,
Yeah.
and I was in so I went for holiday and I went to Ife, Ocean State. It was I felt like this is different. I've never seen this before.
Mm.
What blew my mind was we're at the bus stop
Mhm.
that day and we were waiting for a bus. The bus already moved and my uncle waved. The bus actually reversed to come and pick us up.
For a girl coming from Lagos, that's
From a girl coming from Lagos, I said, no, I was like, is he going to come? My uncle was like, yes, come back to pick us.
Mhm.
We don't have to run after the bus.
We don't have to run after. Yeah.
And it was like, yes. I'm like, wow. I was impressed. Everything was so calm. People were so nice.
Hmm.
You know, 6 o'clock, everything was quiet, good food. I was like, this is not the life I'm used to.
Mm.
Lagos, also and bustle.
Hmm.
You have to run. You would run after the bus. The bus is moving. The bus knows you're coming to get
Yeah.
into the driver knows you're coming to get into the bus, and you're still moving,
And so,
and you have to run after the bus to
and
catch the bus.
this is some years back. Oh, this is yeah,
Yes,
and it
this
was
is
like
like
that. Okay.
yeah, So for me, it was a different experience. So I just called
Hmm.
my dad. I'm like, I'm not coming back to Lagos.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like, yes. I'm like, nah, I'm not coming back. I've seen the light. If if Osun State is the
Mm.
light, and dad was like, okay, that's fine. Go get a school for her. She gets me a school. And we went searching, and it got me private university, private um school. It's called Henry Alex Duyemi
Mm.
Memorial College in Ife then, which was a very very good school.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, and that was how I started
That's
my
how you.
journey.
Oh wow. You.
That was it. I didn't even go back home to pick anything. My dad had to send money.
Hmm.
I went in to write the exam. You know, I I passed, thank God. Sent money to buy everything needed for boarding school. It was a boarding school.
Hmm.
So I became a boarder and just continued my life. And I'll go to Lagos for holidays.
Okay.
My parents would come once a while for visiting day, not a lot, because I had
Hmm.
a guardian,
Hmm.
and that was how my journey started. How I escaped Lagos. you
Hmm.
know, I moved to Ife. And after secondary school, I remember my SS3 then. Um, my uncle felt I was too young to go into the university. He was scared that Esther, this girl is too young to get into the university. So it was against me writing JAMB at that point. And everyone was writing JAMB.
Yeah.
I'm like, everyone in my class. Why would I can remember crying to my dad. This is my best uncle. I don't know what is happening.
This for people who are wondering, foreign listeners, JAMB is the entrance exam you write to get into university in Nigeria. It's compulsory for
Yes.
everybody, every potential or
Sure.
prospective student that wants to go into tertiary institution to write JAMB. I think it's called UTME now or something.
Yeah, UTME.
Okay.
University Tertiary
Tertiary.
is it matriculation examination?
Sorry for
Yeah.
butchering it, but but anyway, I can't remember. I just know the acronym. I don't.
Yeah, UTME. Yeah. You're right. You write it for people that if you want to go into universities, you have to write that examination. So my uncle was of the opinion that I should go do a degree program,
Okay.
um, which was a year. It was
Mhm.
like it, me having a gap year before
Mhm.
going into going into college, but
Mhm.
that gap year was going to be done in an institution that
Mhm.
was going to prepare me for college, which was not a bad idea because it
Mhm.
just felt like it doesn't think I was ready to go
True.
into college.
Mhm.
I still needed a year. I was like, it felt I was too young, but I
Mhm.
wasn't too young.
Oh, you
I
felt you
had
weren't too young.
classmates.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had classmates
How
going.
old were
So
you?
that was a very, I have to go back. That was 2014. Uh, that was 2014, right? And this is 20.
I
No, that was this.
no, it's
That was 2004.
2000.
That
Yeah,
was
I'm sorry.
2004.
Okay,
I thought no, that was 2008.
okay.
That was 2008.
Oh,
It's a long
2008.
time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
about maybe
2008, 2009.
15, 15.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
He
yes,
was actually young.
yeah, 14, 15,
Okay.
14. Yeah,
Mm,
because medication was kind of fast,
yeah.
even compared to, um, yeah, people who were in the same class. I
Mm-hmm.
was pretty young, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah, so I was like, okay. He was my guardian, so whatever he
Mm-hmm.
said, my daddy was going to go. And he was in the educational space. He was a
Okay.
lecturer, so my dad was like, okay, whatever. I didn't have a say.
Mm-hmm.
I went to pre-degree. I did my pre-degree entrance examination, and went to pre-degree. Heartbroken because I felt everyone going to the university. I'm just the only
Yeah.
one. I'm going to be behind my classmates. This is not good. This is
Mm,
bad for me. You know, in retrospect, I thank God for that decision. Anyways,
yeah.
so during that one year, I was there, but I would say that that was really instrumental
Mm-hmm.
to my trajectory when I got into uni.
Mm-hmm.
In the sense that prepared me. That was the first time I was being exposed to people from different
Okay.
parts of Nigeria.
True.
you
True.
know, you had true independence,
Mm-hmm.
and you determine what to do with it, right?
Mm,
So going through that and having to put guardrails in place for myself,
mm-hmm.
I did dabble into some things, because I liked art,
Mm.
and there were just some things that, I can remember there was a time I signed up for this acting
Oh.
gig
Okay.
and I would have to leave the pedigree campus to like the main campus for night rehearsals and go back
Wow.
in the morning, and I still have to attend classes in the morning because I just loved art, and
Mm-hmm.
all of that. I loved, at some point, I thought I was going to do modeling,
Okay.
so I was just all over the place,
Mm-hmm.
but I felt like that was really good. My uncles knew me more than I knew myself.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think it was like this girl, she needs a smaller space
Mm-hmm.
to know
To
herself,
find herself. Yeah.
find herself, you know. I was serious. I think I was smart. I was not
Mm-hmm.
so bad,
Mm-hmm.
but I think there were some other things I needed to build before launching out. And Pretty Good was a good place. So
Okay.
I did come out with good results, and I was given the course I wanted, which is
Mm-hmm.
economics.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So I got into economics. Um, Most of the things that we were taught in year one were the things we were taught during pre-degree,
Okay.
so that gave me a better leverage,
Mm-hmm.
um, with my education. So I
Mm-hmm.
was like really good and smart, or people saw me as one of those people that were like really good in
Yeah.
school, kind of. Yeah, and that just helped with my journey because I was able to know myself, know the best reading pattern for me. I didn't have to
Mm-hmm.
start finding that out when I
Mm-hmm.
got to university, and it just gave me that smooth transition. And yeah, I did economics, did some things politically inclined in school, kind of,
Okay.
and left OAU.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and from there, I moved back to Lagos,
Mm,
Nigeria.
okay.
I moved back home.
Um, Badawali. You went back home eventually. Like Lagos is
After,
like, we're here for you last. You're still going to come back here.
I know, after a couple of years, and that's when my career actually started.
Okay.
My journey started, and having studied economics, I was opportuned um, to intern with an investment bank.
Okay.
It was a boutique investment bank. It was called MBC Capital Limited. We had someone that finished from economics,
Mm-hmm.
that was working. That was a boss.
Mm-hmm.
So he came back to school to recruit people So,
Oh, okay.
so there were like few spots that everyone
Mm-hmm.
wanted, so there was a lot that we had to do. We had to write exams, we
Mm.
had to do interviews. Imagine this few spots that
Yeah.
most people from a class,
Mm-hmm.
a recently graduated class, was trying to get.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God,
Yeah.
I was one of the few people that got the slot.
Mm-hmm.
And that was how my career started. So I did investment banking for a while, then moved to asset management.
Okay.
And from asset management, you know, in my asset management role, I just got to a point that I felt I was repeating the same thing over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
So I was getting tired. I get tired of bored easily,
Mm-hmm.
especially for routine tasks. I like
Mm-hmm.
things that um, make use of my creative
Mm.
side. I and aside from that, I just see myself. Even though when I was in Nigeria, I used to see myself as a global citizen.
Mm.
So, and I knew that stewarding every time counts or mattered. Some people would have said, "You're making money. Why don't you just stay there?" Because you're done with your job midday already. Just stay there.
Oh.
Either you're watching movies or whatever. You don't have to do
Mm.
anything. It's the soft life. So
Mm-hmm.
far, you're earning money, right? But I didn't have that viewpoint about life because I believe that at some point in the future, there will be global opportunities that I would most likely want to apply for,
Mm.
you know, and there will be other people that have stewarded their time well. Either they've been in challenging roles, they've been able to grow themselves, develop themselves. Imagine we're vying for the same position.
True.
Now the question is, what are you bringing to the table?
What can
I've
you
been
bring it to?
lounging.
Mm-hmm.
I've been lounging.
True.
You know,
Not relationship table by the way, but like
yeah, no
professional
relationship table. There
professional
are
table.
different kind of tables. Yeah,
Yes,
so
yes, yes.
professional table,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, what do you have to offer? What skill sets?
Mm.
What problems have you solved? How can you prove that you're the right person for this role?
Mm.
So that's the way I think when it comes to career aspirations and
Yeah.
development. And I felt like, well, I was not going, so I had to leave that role. And I moved to a group of company for their graduate training program,
Yeah.
which was somehow because
Yeah.
the role I was living was a full time role. Imagine
Mm-hmm.
living a full time role for a graduate training program
Yeah.
um, that you were not sure that you're even going to get the job because it was more of a trial 3 to
Mm-hmm.
6 month program. But I did I went for the program. Thank God I got in. I
Okay.
got the business planning and strategy executive role,
Mm-hmm.
which was something I really wanted. And it
Mm-hmm.
was one of the roles that everyone wanted in the
Yeah.
court because it's a strategy and you'll be working with the MDs and all
Mm-hmm.
those top executives. But thank God I got it. And I was there for a while. And I also got tired. And the next opportunity came, which was a boutique um, which was a boutique management consulting firm.
Mm-hmm.
So I got this opportunity to come to this new company, which I took. And this company is like 1/10 of my previous companies was very, 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 very small.
Very small.
So imagine leaving a company that you have like lunch, you
Mm-hmm.
have all these benefits, it was pretty big and solid, shiny office to this small company, kind
Mm-hmm.
of a startup, you know. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's Esther. Anyways, I moved
So that's it. On to the next challenge.
on to the next challenge. And that was where the whole journey of moving to the US started.
Okay.
And like moving to product management and tech started. Because when I got to the management consulting role, I was supposed to be working with someone closely, but it was supposed to be the COO of
Mm-hmm.
that of the
Of the
company.
company.
But I think it took up another engagement instead.
Mm-hmm.
And I was waiting for a boss to come lead me, but no one was coming. And I remember my MD at the point was, Esther, you have to step up and be the acting. So
Oh
I'm
wow.
like, sir. I was like, yes,
That's not the role I interviewed for though.
exactly. That was what the role I interviewed for. I never saw this coming. And it's like,
Mhm.
it's just for a little time, just
Yeah.
step in. But those things, never believe them,
Yeah, yeah.
And then that got me exposed to working with people and companies in different industries.
Hmm.
And I remember going for meetings and my boss would be like, "Oh, this is our top consultant." And I'm like, "Top what?"
Yeah, yeah.
But that actually built confidence in me.
Mm,
Looking back, I never knew I was going to, because now I'm the COO of Trek Scooters. I
mm.
never even knew
You knew that
that was
was,
even going to be inside. I never
yeah,
knew
yeah.
that was God ordering my step and teaching me stuff. But yeah, so I was able to interface with clients directly, and I was preferring solutions to their problem. That was when I realized that technology is really, really important.
Mm,
Um, I noticed that most consultants understand business strategy, but they didn't understand technology.
mm.
And most tech people understood tech, but they didn't understand business
Word.
and strategy. So I
Yeah.
saw there was a mismatch, and I wanted to be that person that understood business strategy, the soft part. And I also wanted to understand technology,
Technology. Mm.
because that way I can provide a holistic experience for
Mm.
my customers and
Customers.
clients. I
Hmm.
wouldn't be preferring solutions to them that in the next 1 or 2 years, you know, it's
It's
it's not needed again or is
it's wasted.
irrelevant.
Yeah.
You know, I felt like that was not good ROI on their investment, because
Mm.
consulting is an investment, though it's a soft one, but it's still an investment,
Hmm.
right? So that was what launched me, into, okay, I want to get tech. I don't want to be a computer engineer. I don't want to
Yeah.
code. But if there was, yeah, if I don't want to be like you,
Ah, no.
but if there's, but if there's a soft part to it, and I came across technology management because a friend of mine had just moved to the US
Okay.
for his master's and for grad school. And he told me about the courses. I checked and I said technology management. I was like, okay,
Mm.
this is it. I applied, got admission, then came in for technology management. Um,
How was
and
the
okay.
visa application process?
Oh, yeah. Mm.
I mean, it was at a time where things were relatively easy.
Yeah,
Um,
things were relatively easy. It was way better than we have now. I heard we have about a year with, okay, maybe for the
yeah,
B1, B2.
yeah.
I think it's lesser for educational
For
visa.
mhm. So let's see. It was. This is about 10 years ago, right?
This was 2018.
Okay, okay. Oh, sorry. Why did I think 10 years ago? Okay, 2018. Yeah.
Yeah, I moved to the United States in 2018 for my master's
Okay.
in technology management.
Okay. What was it hard to get a date at that time?
Oh, I remember I had to expedite the process. I had to
Oh, okay.
request. And yeah, I had to do
Mm-hmm.
that because the date they
Mm-hmm.
gave me was after resumption. So I
Okay.
had to put in a request for an earlier date. So
Mm-hmm.
I want to say even as at that time,
Things were heating up.
things were eating up, but not as much as this one.
I think COVID now even really made
Yeah,
things really
yeah,
worse.
made it worse. Yes.
Mm.
Um, the visa application process, putting in the information and all was pretty easy and seamless because I had a guide. Like I
Mm-hmm.
said, a friend of mine had moved to the US, so it was pretty instrumental,
Mm-hmm.
and gave me the needed information for what I needed, so it made it
Okay.
easy. Um, but that day, I felt like that was the most anxious day of my life.
The visa interview.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can
yeah,
imagine. Yeah.
because I didn't know what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
People said a lot, even though I tried my best to guide my heart with all with all diligence, but
Yeah.
somehow you still get this information about, oh, someone went, the 10th time I was denied.
Yeah.
Someone did this. You have to act this way, you have to do that, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah. But what even made the anxiety worse
Mm.
was getting to the place. I did my interview in Lagos. I can't remember the name of the uh I'm trying to
What
remember. It's a very popular.
what are
Where did you do your,
currency?
yeah, what exactly
Yeah.
currency?
Hmm.
And getting there, it was very, very early in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you could see the line.
Yeah.
I'm like,
And
what?
you could literally smell the anxiety in the air. People standing and just being
Everyone.
anxious,
Nobody was
perplexed.
smiling.
No one.
Nobody
No
was
one.
smiling. It was more of eyes on the ball, eyes on the
Mm-hmm.
prize.
Yep. Yep.
Nobody was going to smile with you. Everyone double checking their documents.
Yep.
Oh, do you have this? Do I have this? Do I have this? Do I have this? Do I have this? Oh, okay, okay, okay. And the line kept moving.
Hmm.
And the closer I got to the consular officers, geez, my legs were shaking.
Yeah. 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 Did you fast?
I didn't eat anything that day. I don't know if it was like, but eat what?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah. Yeah.
nah,
Hmm.
it's what? What am I eating? This is, this is serious
Smile.
business.
Yeah. Hmm.
This is it. I don't want to say do or die, but
But it felt like that.
the way
Hmm.
visa interviewer is,
Hmm.
it was only a very close friend of mine that knew. I didn't even tell anybody. As
Yeah. Yeah.
Nigerians, you
True.
don't tell people you're going for
Hmm.
interview. Yeah, just a very close friend of mine that knew, that took me to the interview that day. And after that, when I got, I went to my dad's office. I was like, Daddy, guess what? He was like,
Yeah.
what? You know,
What questions
um,
did they ask? Can you remember?
yeah. So I know that the guy asked, um, what school
Hmm.
was I going to? How many universities did
Did you
I
apply to?
apply to?
Hmm.
Did I write any exam?
Exam
I
before.
did the GRE at that point.
Okay.
And trust me, I had my receipt. So as I was asking, I was
Oh,
saying,
yeah.
yes, I have this, I have my results here. I was like, no. It asked how many schools did you apply to? I was like, okay, I applied there. The guy,
Hmm.
he didn't even bother to check it. But I
Hmm.
had a document for
Hmm.
every
For
question he
every
was
question.
asking. He also asked why. Why am
Hmm.
I going to the US? And my story was what I just said.
Hmm.
I told him I'm currently working as a consultant and I saw that there's a mismatch and I want to go, to learn and come back to fill that gap so I can prefer the solution. Don't
I,
laugh. Why are you
I'm,
laughing?
I'm laughing because that was the same story I said. So
Oh, that was the same story.
yeah, I think
Oh,
that's what I don't know. Maybe I don't know if we saw it somewhere, but I know most people say that, and I'm laughing because I'm asking myself. Anyway, I think you are doing something back in terms of
yeah.
track and your foundation. But I was laughing because yeah, I
Yeah,
said
people
that.
just
So
say that. But
yeah.
seriously, like when I was leaving Nigeria, I knew I was gonna go back in one form or the other
Mm.
because it was real. Like what I told the consular officer is real,
Yeah.
because people even ask me, why are you doing, why would you have a startup in Africa? Why would you commit your
Mm.
resources, your effort
Now?
and all?
No.
Yeah,
Mm.
to
They
Africa,
ask you
like
that?
when, yeah, before we even started check scooters, I had a lot of people
Mm.
discourage me. Like, why would you do that? You can put that
Mm.
into real estate in America or whatever. You can put that effort into other things, right? But I meant what I said to the consular officer when I was leaving
Mm.
because I feel like we can't just all leave and not look back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if we don't look back, the country is going to remain the same. I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy building. I'm an entrepreneur. In this age and time, it's not easy. I am Orton running a
Mm.
business in
Yeah.
Nigeria. It's not easy, right?
Mm.
But the truth is, we can't all just leave and not look back.
Hmm.
It gives me joy when I see Nigerians riding scooters. They would not have had opportunities, like have that opportunity if we didn't go in and give that to them.
Okay.
Because what happens is Africa is always a dumping ground for technologies. We don't get
Sure.
these things until like 10 years, 20 years
Word. Yeah.
after.
Mm-hmm.
But now, e-scooters are like pretty new. Seeing an average Nigerian in a public institution that would have the opportunity to go outside of the country for a vacation, right? Or would have had the opportunity to even get in on an e-scooter in another couple of years, let's say 5, 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing them ride the scooter and having the experiences that other people in this part of the world are
Yeah.
having gives me joy and
Mm.
satisfaction,
Yeah.
aside from the
And if
business part, right?
aside from the business side, and even on the
Yeah,
it's because it's a real problem you're solving here. I mean, I was in Lagos in December, and a lot of people just you need to move from point A to point B.
to
It's
point B.
not far, and you're thinking of me. Okay, should I use Uber? Unlike other countries, for example, here in America, you want to go to people ride scooters
Because,
to
yeah.
work.
Yeah,
If you're on the island, you should be able to ride your scooter. I mean, barring every other factor that might be included in terms of security, maybe the
yeah.
road. But I saw a lot of people riding bikes, so which is
hmm
really interesting. Like, yeah, and let's not even talk about the environmental factors involved with
hmm
combustion engines and cars.
Jane, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
The
it's
eco-friendliness,
yeah,
yeah.
and I think I like your when you said I knew I was going to go back um in 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 one form or the other. It doesn't have to be
Yeah,
okay. I'm moving my things back to Nigeria, and
yeah,
like you said, global citizen mindset. You don't have
yeah,
to. Um, it's not. It, I just don't want. I don't want it to be like, oh, okay, you say you're going to go back, and it means that physically I'm moving my things back.
yeah,
Mm,
yeah. No, you
yeah,
can do it in one form or
yeah,
the other. You don't have to move.
yeah.
Like I'm here, but
Mm.
having a startup there and
It's
having a foundation that caters to Africans too.
exactly.
It's just the heart that
Mm,
matters.
yeah.
I have I'm this person that when I get an opportunity, I also want to extend it to other people,
Mm-hmm.
around me, or even people I don't know, because
Yeah.
someone gave me that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
My friend exposed me,
Mm-hmm.
and guided me on my way to the US.
Mm.
So why wouldn't I do that to other
Mm.
people if I have the opportunity to do that?
To offer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. Very interesting journey. Very interesting experience filled journey with I guess intentionality. Yeah, okay, this is
Yeah.
what I want to do. And it's funny how our lives I know people say it they say um our lives is a multiplication or addition of all the choices or decisions we've made in the past.
Made.
I just look at, okay, how did I become this? And then you look back, okay, I did this, and these are the layers that form
Mm-hmm.
this whole me, present me.
Me. Yeah.
Interesting. I just wanted to say, yeah, on startup, I don't know if you listen to, there's this podcast Squad. It's dedicated on the VC, is a podcast dedicated on VC ecosystem in Africa. Um, so yeah, I know people are saying, oh, don't do this, don't invest in Africa, don't do this. It's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, the good people at Squad, they do a very nice job analyzing the ecosystem in the VC ecosystem, funding,
Mm-hmm.
hedge funding, tech, basically the whole idea of owning business in
Business.
Africa, Nigeria. So you're going to
Mm-hmm.
check it out, and listeners want to check it out.
Oh,
SQ. I'll probably put the link down somewhere. SQOURD Squad.
okay.
Yeah, I think
I'll,
it's
I'll,
a.
I'll,
I think I believe I'm not sure, but I know they started out as a VC, um,
Okay.
and now they have a podcast,
Oh,
video and audio.
nice.
So you guys check it out. But anyway,
I'll check it
interesting.
out.
Yeah. Um. So how has it been? Your experience, US?
Oh God. Oh God. That's a lot.
Yeah.
When you said how has it been?
Hmm. What was the first thing that popped into your head when I said, the first word?
What popped in my head was the day I landed in the United States.
Oh wow. Okay.
You know, seeing myself with boxes, pink colored
Oh, okay.
boxes. I had like this set of boxes that myself and my mom went to buy from Eco Market,
Yeah.
you know, and set of boxes, pink. I was wearing a blue top and a jean, and a sneakers. And I just didn't know. I didn't know
Did you come by
what the
yourself?
journey was. Yeah, I came by myself. I didn't even have anyone in the United States except for my friend that that we worked together for a while that had moved to the US. But aside from him, I didn't know anyone,
Hmm.
and later I realized that you know it's difficult. You
Hmm.
can't rely on anyone because everyone trying to navigate their journey in the
Hmm.
United States is not as easy as it seems.
True.
And for me, I didn't get funding. You know, Sometimes I sit down and I ask myself, Esther, you you didn't get funding. People ask me, how did you move? Did you get funding? No, there was no funding. I just knew I was gonna figure it out one way or the other.
Where did you where did you go to school?
I went to North Carolina A&T State University.
Okay.
It's one of the top
That's a very good school.
HBCU.
Yeah.
Yeah, a very good school. It has a very good
Hmm.
engineering program.
And North
It's an
Carolina is a
histo-
very beautiful state.
Yeah, I'm a proud alumni
Yeah.
of the school. Yeah,
Yeah.
ANC is solid.
Hmm.
And for me, the fact that it was an HBCU. So for
Hmm.
people that don't understand what HBCU
Okay. Yeah.
is,
True.
historical Black college and universities.
Yes.
So the way we have PWI,
Hmm.
that's
Predominant
predominantly white
whites. Yes.
institutions
Yes.
in the US. So HBCUs are schools that you see more Black folks,
True.
and they're like funds
Hmm.
catered to them to just help Black folks with education based on
Hmm.
previous or past racism
Hmm.
incidents in the country,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Um, yeah, just you asking me how has it been? It's a lot. I don't know where to start. There were high moments, there were
True.
low moments, there
Hmm.
were down, down, down,
Very down.
bottom,
It was a
rock
2 year program, right?
bottom, rock bottom here. It
And you
was
didn't
a
have.
year and a half.
Okay.
It was a year and a half.
Is that three
I did a
semesters?
year and a half. Yeah, 3 semesters.
Did you rush it?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I could have finished my program in a year, but because I had an internship,
Okay.
you know. So getting into the US, about 2 months or 3 months in, I got an internship with Deloitte Consulting already,
Hmm.
right? So yeah, which led to a full-time
Hmm.
opportunity with Deloitte. Um,
Okay.
yeah, so that's different and interesting from most
Hmm.
people's journey
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
story too.
Hmm.
And I can unpack
Is
that if you want me to unpack it.
oh yeah, feel
But
free. I wanted to. Is technology management is a STEM course, right?
yeah, technology management is a STEM course.
Hmm.
So you get 3 year OPT
Okay.
once you're done with school.
Hmm. Okay. Okay.
So OPT is optional practical training for
Training.
people that are
Hmm.
listening and they don't know what
Yeah.
that is.
Hmm.
Once you study in the United States, depending on the course you study, you get
Hmm.
either a 1 year OPT or 3 year OPT.
Yeah.
So if you're doing a STEM course, you get a 3 year OPT. You get the first year and you can
And
renew
then
for 2 years
yes,
additionally. So that
yes.
gives you the opportunity to get into corporate America, probably get
Hmm.
a company that can help you with immigration, or you can figure that out yourself. But
True.
if you're doing non-step courses like art courses, I know you get just 1 year.
1 year.
So please choose
And
wisely.
some, yes, yes. Art courses and some science courses, like health science courses, like
Health
public
science.
health, and, which is fun. But anyway.
Yeah, I feel like it depends on the school too, because I have a friend that is doing something
Mm,
public health, but he's
okay.
going to get 3 years.
Oh,
So
okay.
there's a way the school categorize it.
True. Yeah, you're actually absolutely right. Yeah.
So you want to ask, these are questions you want
Mm,
to ask.
you want
Is
to
this a
ask, yeah.
STEM course? How many year OPT do I get when I'm done
True.
with this
Okay.
program? Do you guys have career fairs
Yep.
in your school, and what kind of companies come?
Come.
If they can give you data of
True.
international students that get, you know, employed or recruited, how is that? How does that work? Do they have a
Mm-hmm.
strong career network?
Mm-hmm.
Because both countries, sorry, I say countries, both companies
Mm-hmm.
I've worked with since I left school, I got them in school. So both
Okay.
Deloitte and Microsoft, I got
Mm-hmm.
them right from North Carolina A&T State University.
Okay. That's nice. Yeah. So, to a very large extent, I know many people just want to leave, but I guess what you're saying is plan, know where you're going, have a thought process of okay, yes, if I get here, I want to be able to do this, especially if you are coming as a student or and your end goal is economic empowerment or
Mm-hmm,
job. Obviously, you don't want to go to school and stay at home. Um, get look at the school you are going to. Really
mm-hmm.
good point. Get a
Yeah.
STEM course. Ask your school how is their international school or international office relation
Office.
with
Mm-hmm,
international students. Can they show you data? And these questions, and I know most people when you're coming from outside, it looks like you're begging, but you're not begging. You're actually asking
mm-hmm,
information because they benefit from
mm-hmm,
the school
mm-hmm,
fees you pay or the grants that they even pay you. They
mm-hmm,
benefit from it. They get the funding and they pay you.
mm-hmm.
So ask those questions, reach out, do findings, and like you said, to a large extent, the school you go to determines where you end up. I know some companies will say, "Oh, their legacy, we this is where we hire from." For example, oh,
Mm-hmm.
well, we hire from only Harvard, or we hire from
Mm-hmm.
only Michigan State.
States, yeah.
There's some companies that do that. This for our IT or security, we hire from here.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can look for those
Yeah.
companies and find it, apply
Yeah.
and know that. I'm not saying it's a sure path, but at
Yeah.
least you have a plan. And you're not just coming and say, oh, when we reach there, we go, no, as we go do. Nah, don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to say before we leave this part, because
Mm-hmm.
I like to share,
Yep.
because people ask me, how were you able to get an internship like 2 months in?
Okay,
I came
yes.
in August, like
Mm-hmm.
September, October, February, yeah, November. I already had an internship. I'd gone through I won't say 3 months in, I'd gone through the interview process and everything, right? Um, so one of my goals coming in was like, and my prayers to God was like, I wanted an internship
Mm-hmm.
because I felt like that was a good path into full role. And in
Yep.
America, for the most part, once you get an internship, you already have a full time,
Mm.
except for the recent economic
Yep,
recession that we're
yep, yep,
facing.
yep.
But previously, once you have an internship, you
Mm.
come back full time, except to do something really, really ridiculous during your internship, you know.
Mm.
And so that was one of the things. So immediately I got in, like the first day of classes after I settled in and all, I was already applying for
Applying to
internships.
internship. Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
Mm.
And I found, while asking people and all of that, I found that my school had this career website. And that was it. I just applied, submitted my resume. And next thing, I had companies reach out to me. There was this particular internship I got at first before Deloitte. But they said because I was international, I didn't have the necessary, the rescinded the offer, which was very, very
Mm.
painful.
Very
I
painful.
cried
Yeah.
though.
That
I
happened
cried.
to me too.
I cried, I cried, I
Yeah.
cried, 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 cried. But aside from that, thank God, I kept at it until I came through and they were open to having international students, you
Yeah.
know. So you want to have a list. I think if you go online, people
Yeah.
have done those research already and there's
Mm.
like a long list of companies, depending if you're coming to the US that take internationals, and
Mm-hmm.
you might want to target those companies rather than casting your nets wide to people that might not take you, or you
That might
just go
not
through
take
the process and they
true.
take back the offer. So that was what
Mm.
I did. So please, I know you're here for education. You're here to go to classes and meet people, but also start. Don't wait till 3 months to the end of your program to start applying for jobs,
True.
or 6 months to start applying for job. Don't wait till you have. I didn't even have a CGPA here
Mm.
when I applied
Mm-hmm.
for internship. I just started my courses. I didn't have
Yeah.
anything. All I had to show was my work experience in Nigeria. Um, there was this career drive that they had people from the industry come, and I had this lady review my resume,
Mm-hmm.
and I did the necessary edit and correction, and that was what I used, right? So
Mm-hmm.
please, I just want to put that out there. Be proactive. Don't just sit and waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that. What do I want to talk about next? I want to ask about your foundation.
Okay.
It's really important. Um, and I think people should know about it. I think people
Yes.
should hear about it. I'm going to do
Okay.
as much as I can do for people to know. Um,
Thank you.
eh, let's talk about your foundation. What is your foundation?
Yeah, it's called ECLA Foundation. You can
Okay.
read more going to www.eclafoundation.com.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I'll put it on the screen too.
yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so ECLA Foundation was birthed from the desire and passion of helping Africans,
Mm-hmm.
launch into the deep, just like
Yeah.
we did,
Mm-hmm.
but now with some financial support.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I realized that there are a lot of people, they're smart, they have what it takes to be here, but they don't have the financial resources to even start the process. There are a lot of grants, there are a lot of resources to help people, in the United States, as you know.
Yeah.
Even if you don't get like full scholarships, there are like loan opportunities that you can take advantage of, you know. But for some people, applying is even an issue.
True.
They don't even have the funds to apply. All they're thinking of is survival. How can I even eat? But they have like very good CGPA.
Mm-hmm.
They've done amazing things. Um, they want better. They can do better,
True.
but they just need someone to help them. So that's
Mm-hmm.
where ECLA Foundation comes in. It's providing that platform and opportunity for educational advancement and economic empowerment
Mm.
for people, for Africans. And when you also come here, we also help with some support
Okay.
while you come. Probably not monetary. The monetary part is just for your application fees,
Okay.
so that you can get in the door,
Yeah. Yeah.
and get accepted.
Mm-hmm.
Most times when people get accepted, then they get this community rally around them.
Yeah.
Because
Mm-hmm.
imagine someone saying, "Oh, I got accepted to this school in the US." Then you see all your family members, okay, how much is the flight money? How much is this? Let's
Yeah.
do this. You can get the support. Some people just need to show that I have this before they can get the support. So that's why we're here to just help people break that
Okay.
barrier.
Okay.
So that's what ECLA Foundation does.
Mm-hmm.
And we also believe in social responsibility. So
Okay.
we're not just giving you the funds, or like opening the door for you. Like I said, I believe in paying it forward, and I also believe in empowering people to pay it forward.
Mm.
So as an ECLA Foundation scholar, you know, you're also taxed with the responsibility of giving at least the same amount that was given from the fund once you
Mm.
start working, depending on how much was paid for your application fee.
Yeah.
You have to give back the same thing. Number one, for sustainability of the fund.
True.
Number two, to also teach people social
Mm-hmm.
responsibility. That
Yeah.
you're not just focused on yourself. You need to
Mm-hmm.
also help other people, you know.
Yeah.
And so that's where we have another project that we'll be doing this year is releasing a playbook
Okay.
for Africans in diaspora,
Mm.
students most especially.
Muslim students. Okay.
And that's because based on your experience, based on my experience, and based on people I've spoken to, people come in and they don't even know what to do.
Mm.
You have a whole 24 months or let's say 18 months, and you're like, how do I start? You're in a new country.
Mm.
You have culture shock, number one.
Mm.
You're trying to acclimatize.
Yeah.
Um, you're looking for the right food to eat. You
Mm.
know, you're trying to get used to that. You're trying to get used to the code, trying to also understand corporate America. How do I even break into this? You know, so what the playbook does is gives you a step by step guide
Guide.
based on the path that have been walked by most people
Mm.
and learning from their mistakes. So it's like month zero before you get to the US, reach out to someone in your school, ask XYZ question, have this in
Yeah.
place. Month 1 to 3, these are the things you want to start applying. You want to have you want to do an assessment. Where do you want to go? Do you want to do a PhD? Do you want to go into corporate America? What are the things you have to put in place? Month
Mm-hmm.
6 to 8, something to just help guide people.
True.
Because I believe that that is going to be very, very instrumental to people coming here. It's going to make their path easy. So that's one thing we're working on. We
Mm.
started last year with some Microsoft folks.
Mm-hmm.
We hope to continue this year and release it later in the
Okay.
year.
Okay. That's really interesting. That's really interesting. Yeah. So Ekla Foundation. I'm pronouncing that right. Right?
Yeah, ECLA,
Yeah.
ECLA
Okay.
Foundation.
Ekla. It's if you need help navigating specifically immigration to the US as a student, go to their website, put it there. Um,
Yeah.
Also, I think it's very important to um, the playbook is very important because most of us that came later, when most people have come before, for example, me that had my sister here already, it was easy for me to ask questions and it was easy for her to know, okay, so
Mm-hmm.
do this, even before coming. It was like, reach out to
Mm-hmm.
this person, reach out to this person.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's the quality of information you get is richer and better than not having information at all. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I answered to started.
Yeah.
That to bridge the gap between, oh, I just want to go. So it shouldn't be I just want to go, or I don't even know what I'm going to do, or when I get there, I'll sort it out too. Yeah, I already have the things that I need to do, and
Mm-hmm.
when I'm getting there, it's going to be easier. So
Yeah.
yeah, nice project, and I hope to see
Thank
it
you.
when it comes out. Uh,
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be reaching out to you because we're also doing a lot of discovery,
oh,
trying to
okay.
get, and yeah, we'll most likely add answer to one of the platform or
Oh yeah,
resources that
yeah.
people should, because you guys are
Mm,
doing an
mm, yeah.
amazing job.
Mm,
Yeah.
thank you. I was going to ask one more question. How did you pay your school fees?
Oh, this is where I thank the Lord
Yeah.
for leaving school with no debt.
Hmm.
So coming into the United States, I did have the first installment
Mm-hmm.
um, for my fees because with A&T you can pay instrumentally, right?
Okay.
So I had my first installment, and I was hoping that I would get graduate assistantship, even though I never got anything. Um, Living Nigeria, so immediately I got in, I worked. I worked the whole, oh God. There was
Yeah.
no department I did not go to looking for graduate research assistants. So I came in about a week before school actually resumed
Mm-hmm.
because I knew that I didn't have funding, I didn't have anything, and I
Yeah.
needed something. So I came in earlier, and the plan was to use that 1 week to see what I could get before the
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
got in, right? So I went all over knocking on doors. You know, there was like Abolaji, I went everywhere.
Yeah.
I went everywhere, and on this day, I'd almost given up. I met a person, and this man is. It was like, "Are you Nigerian?" I said, "Yes, sir, I'm Nigerian." I was
Mm,
like, "Oh, nice." How are you? I'm also a lecturer here. Come to my office. It's also like a guided. It's my
mm-hmm,
guidance in the US now,
mm-hmm.
and going to his office, he asked me, "Did you reach out to any lecturer before you came?" I was like, "No, I didn't know I was supposed to reach out." So these are tips we're giving new people
Yeah,
coming.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Reach out to lecturers, try to find people that have money or looking for research assistants, so
True.
that by the time you're coming to school, you already have a job waiting for you and you can get paid. And I was like, no, I was like, so you just left without anything? I said, yes, sir. He looked at me and smiled and laughed, you know, and he was able to provide some information to me that there was a new lecturer coming in that needed research assistant, so we had to do like interview to see if we had the required skill sets,
Mm-hmm.
and the lady came in. She felt myself and I had another friend. Then she also went to OAU.
Oh wow.
um,
Okay.
yeah,
Small world.
I know, it's a very small world, and she felt we had the required skill set, and we were able to work with her. So I was able to get paid from
Okay.
that research assistant job,
Mm-hmm.
um, which was really not enough for the school fees,
True.
you know. But the
Mm-hmm.
good thing is with A&T, I don't know if they still do that. As at that time, um, if you if your research assistantship was up to $5,000, per semester, you get tuition remission.
Mm,
So tuition remission is when the school also helps with
mm-hmm.
some part of your tuition because you're working
Yeah.
in the school as a research assistant.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to get tuition remission. So the tuition remission and what I was getting as stipends for my research assistantship job, helped in paying
Mm,
off. And I had my internship at some point, right? So I made money from internship, you know,
yeah.
sweet money. And that was also a good way to cater to my living expenses. And so everything worked out.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, now it sounds easy or straightforward, but I can imagine what you were going
mm-mm.
through, the emotions and stuff. But yeah, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Some
That's,
days I'm like, am I going to go back to Nigeria like this? God help me.
everybody thinks that.
I'm
Wait.
like, God, am I
Yeah.
going to carry my pink bag?
Yeah, my pick. But yeah, that's good to know. Yeah, it's almost
Yeah.
1.5. It's long talk, and you've not
Wow.
even exhausted, but
Oh,
not
yeah.
to take too much more, too much more of your time.
Yeah. Time.
Um,
Yeah.
if last question,
Okay.
do you when you look back at your immigration journey or your migration journey,
Mhm.
what would you say you would do differently?
Oh, that's a deep question.
Mm,
Um, I would I would do two or three things differently.
okay.
The first being lower my expectations.
Mm,
Um, so and I'm just saying this for people that would be migrating to that you probably have friends here or you have
mm,
family members, in the country you're going to. So when you come in, you're expecting that since you have them there, it's going to be a walk in the park and that they're going to help you with a lot of stuff. But when you come here, you would realize that each man to his own. There's
mm.
just so much they can do because um, the way abroad, let me use abroad now,
It's set up.
is is designed
Mm-hmm.
is it's not like we have back home, right? Um, People are also dealing with a lot. The fact that people are here doesn't mean they have it all figured out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, People are dealing with a lot. They're dealing with their own immigration journey. They're dealing with their educational journey. They're trying to sort themselves out, get better. So I had a lot of expectations. Immediately I got here, I was reaching out to the people that I knew that were here already, but I didn't get the response I wanted. I think
Mm.
I one a few of them even blocked me. I was not asking for money. I was just like, oh, I'm here in the US. I had not asked for money. I had not asked. I'm serious. I had
I'm
not asked
like,
for anything.
please don't add to my mental stress. Blocked.
All of a sudden, I realized that one of my friends, I couldn't say a GP again. I couldn't.
Oh wow.
Uh-uh. Then I checked on my other line. I could see. So that was when I saw that, wow, she actually blocked me. I was like, wow, interesting. The other one, I was expecting her to be excited. I got a cold response from her.
Hmm.
And my other friend that I thought was going to be there, he wasn't as much as I thought he would be. So I was heartbroken. I had to deal with that. That was really painful and hurtful. But looking back, it's not their fault.
Mm.
You know, I'm here now. I know what it's like. It's not easy. I have people coming to the country. I had a friend coming. I didn't even see him until over a year
Yeah.
after he moved into the US. And it was like, Esther, when I come, I'm going to see you.
True.
I was instrumental to his journey, providing guidance and all, but I didn't even have the time to go see him.
Yeah.
So understanding that and lowering your expectations, um, knowing that there's just so much people can do, you would have to, do the work, most of the work, and
Mm-hmm.
don't see it as them like not being kind or they don't care about you. It's just what it is.
Hmm.
So that's one thing I would tell myself.
Mm.
Um, the other thing would be to explore more.
Mm.
As international students, most times we think we're limited. The fact that you're limited to 20 credit hours, a week for work doesn't mean that you can engage in other things. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean that you can explore America.
Yeah.
You can go outside. There are like different groups you can belong to because it makes your acclimatization acclimatization
Yeah.
easier. You know, um, Being a student of NC I didn't go outside of the four walls of ANC.
Mm.
I was in Greensboro, North Carolina. There were other schools in North Carolina. I could have gone for their programs, to also network or connect with other students.
Mm.
There were other events happening in Greensboro, or North Carolina as a whole that I could have taken advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
Met industry experts, but I only waited. So don't wait for things to be brought to you.
Mm.
Join organization. We have Nest Behavior and Engineer, Society of Women Engineers,
Mm.
and be active in those platforms. You get to meet people from other parts of the United States. You know, you might end up finding someone that you built an amazing product with that you change the world,
Yeah.
or you come up with a nice idea. So don't just be limited to schoolwork. So that's one thing I would have done differently. Actually take advantage because you have a lot of time that you could use for other things. So look for other things that you can explore. I know we're limited,
Yeah.
but we're not that limited,
Yeah.
you
There's
know.
still wiggle room. There's still. Yeah.
Yeah, there's still wiggle room to do other things, engage with
Mm.
people, try
Mm.
other things. Don't just be confined to Nigerians and
Yeah.
Africans, you know.
Explore. Spread
Explore,
your
widen,
wings.
widen your gaze. It also helps you
Mm.
when you leave school and you're in corporate America or doing anything else.
Yeah.
Um, Seek mentors. That's the last thing I would say. Actively seek mentors.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's something I think I would have done differently. And the reason why I'm saying that is looking at my negotiation journey, salary negotiation journey. Like that's a story for another day,
Yeah.
entirely.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like if I had actively sought out mentors, um, I would have had people guide me better. I would have made better decisions around my pay,
Mm.
because I would have understood what the industry wage was, and
Yeah.
how I could, how I could negotiate my offer better,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So even if I get a no, but I would have tried, you know. With Microsoft, I did, that was the first time I ever negotiated. I know where we're coming from. What they give to you is what you take,
Yep.
you
Yep.
know. But yeah, it's different. There is
Yeah.
a scale, there is a range. You
Yeah.
know,
It
they
is.
just give you something. Most times, there's always still money on the
Mm-hmm.
table. So you can always learn to negotiate. When they give you something, even if you feel like, wow, thank God, this is the best, but still negotiate. Negotiation is not just a salary, skill. It's also a good skill if you're going to be a
Mm.
business person
True.
later.
True.
So learn the art of negotiation.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, those three, those are
Yeah.
things I would have done differently.
Wow. Very in depth. Yeah. I agree with all three. Um, particularly mm, number two where you said explore. Um, yeah, most international students want to just feel okay. I came for education. Let me face it. There's just so much fear that dampens or that limits us to look beyond our immediate surrounding. Oh, you have to do this. You have to do this. But trust me, there's enough time and there's enough room for you to actually say, okay, let me actually see what you're doing, and in different parts in volunteering because that speaks
Mm-hmm.
a lot on your resume.
Resume
Um,
too.
talking to different cultures, talking to different people, and meeting different
Mm-hmm.
people. Even if you are not traveling, just go to the
Mm-hmm.
next city, or go to the closest school and just meet people.
Yeah.
Walk up to people. The highest they will say is, "No, I don't want to talk to
Yeah.
you. Leave me alone." And then you
Yeah.
move on to the next person. And that is because really that's how Disney, the corporate world is really. You meet this person, that knows this person. So, but yeah, thank you for that. I don't think I have any other question. Uh, do you have any other brand business that you want to put out there for people to know aside Trek and I want to say A class. I don't know why.
I know. I remember the sweets that
Yeah.
we loved when we were
hmm
little. No, Trek scooters. Yeah,
hmm
check us out. Follow us.
What parts of Nigeria is Trek Street?
So currently, we're in three universities: Pan Atlantic University, Redeemers University, and Lagos State
Okay.
University.
Okay.
And we've signed partnerships with over 10 other universities with a total population size of about 500,000 people.
Okay.
Um, so we'll be rolling out in those places. And um,
Nice. Do they pay?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So the way it runs is we have our physical, the hardware, which is the scooters in itself. Um, Riders or customers need to download the Trek app.
Yeah.
On the Trek app, we operate a wallet system. So you load
hmm
your wallet through your
hmm
bank or through the different payment
hmm
systems we have. And you scan to unlock the scooter. Currently, you pay 50, it's 50 naira to scan
hmm
to unlock, and you pay 20 naira per minute of your ride.
Okay.
So the money just goes from your wallet, you know,
Yeah.
and that's it. Once you're done, you scan to lock, and you're good to go.
Nice. 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 So, students, see that bus ride to your class or that taxi ride or lift ride is definitely more expensive than 20 naira. So, jump on that scooter and go to class.
Yeah,
It's way cheaper.
it's
Is
way
It's
cheaper.
way cheaper. You can save a lot. And it's probably faster too. You don't have to wait for
Yeah, and it's
anybody.
fun.
So
Exactly. You
this is
don't need
fun.
to wait
Mhm.
every bus stop, wait
Yeah.
for this person to come down, then you go to another bus stop, wait for another person, and you're running late. And it's
Mhm.
also safe, especially for ladies that
Yeah.
they feel some sense of insecurity at night. You're on your
Do you,
scooter by yourself. So,
mhm. Do you
no,
provide helmet
it's
or
yes, yes.
okay?
There's an element for
Okay.
security, and we also regulate the speed limit to 20
Oh,
kilometer
okay.
per hour. just for
Nice.
safety reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we
Mm.
don't want people getting into accident or over speeding on the scooters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice, nice, nice. Nice. No other question. Thank you again. Sponsored by Answered, and check out
Thank you, answered.
thank you, Answered. And if you every link or every brand I call here, they are most likely owned by no mm, definitely owned by immigrants or people who migrated. I'll put the links in the show notes wherever you see it. And
Well, immigrants are doing a lot. I'm so proud
yes,
of us.
yes,
I am
yes,
so
yes,
proud of us.
yes, yes. So yeah, thank you again, Esther. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing so much about your journey and giving us insight into things that we need to take note. And I know there's a lot more. And if you have issues with applying, reach out to. Do you want them to reach out to you personally on
Yeah, they
IG?
can reach out to me. You can
Yeah.
follow me or you can send an email to eclafoundationfund@gmail.com. But if
Okay.
not, reach out to me personally on my social media. Yeah, I will definitely
What's your
respond or
social?
even Esther in there
Okay. 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 We'll put it there.
everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or even Ecla Foundation
Mm-hmm.
um, fund on social media too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. 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 Thank you. Thank you. Thank you again for listening and stay blessed, people. See you
Thank you so
next
much for
week.
having me.
Yeah.
Thank you. This
You're
was
welcome.
fun. This was
Yeah.
nice.
Thank you.